Well, let's take a look at what is happening in the markets, and we start off with the local bourse. That did start off the week on a rather sour note, and we are seeing the all share extending its losses in today's trading session as well, with the all share slumping more than 0.1%. What's carrying most of those losses is the resources 10 complex there, with a decline of almost 2%, followed by the industrial 25 with a loss of almost 0.25%. But backing that trend is the financial 15 with a gain of almost 1.5%. Let's take a look at what is happening in the U.S. markets, and on that front, markets are waiting to sift through the U.S. consumer inflation data for May that is coming out tomorrow afternoon. And of course, hours after that, we will be getting the Fed's latest interest rate decision. Of course, markets will be combing through that decision and also forward-looking statements about the future of monetary policy. Of course, this happening in a tense market in which markets kind of dialed back their expectations for interest rate cuts after the strong non-farm payrolls that came out on Friday. We are seeing some negative, negative sentiment in those U.S. markets. S&P 500 declining almost 0.33%. The tech-heavy Nasdaq down slightly, 0.06% below that flat line, and the Dow shedding almost 0.2%. Let's cross over to across the Atlantic and take a look at what markets are doing on that front. We did have some UK labour data that came out. We did have unemployment in May ticking up from 4.3% to 4.4%, but also seeming that wage growth there does still remain sticky, as we saw with data between February and April, of course, something that might be a concern for the Bank of England. I see of a red over there as well, with the FTSE 100 with a loss there just shy of 1%. The CAC 40 shedding almost 1.5%, and a loss on the DAX of almost 0.7%.